One of the things, too, about your team being so fresh coming off of the play-in tournament that a lot of people were talking about, Chris Finch, is that you guys look really fresh for a team that supposedly tired themselves out celebrating. What did you make of that whole conversation nationally about the way your team?
Yeah, I didn't pay much attention to it, to be honest, and I thought it was a bit, overplayed. Like, why shouldn't we celebrate these things? This is a franchise that's had but one playoff season in the last 20. One of the losingest franchises in the history of the league over the course of its lifetime. We have a team that is young. It's exciting. Our fans have really taken to it. And I've said this before, Rich, like, we've just played 2 joyless seasons of basketball for the most part. We played without crowds. We played through a bubble, some of us. We played, through testing. It didn't feel like a lot of fun at times. It felt like just an everyday, any old job that none of us at times really wanted to go to. So I think some of that is a reaction to just being able to re-engage with a fan base that's trying to get to know us. And then lastly, the play-in tournament is a unique environment. I love the product. I think it's great for the NBA. But when you're in it, 82 games comes down to one game, and you need one game to validate a season. You need one to get to the playoffs. That's what it felt like for us. We had a really good season, 10 games above 500, 5 games above, the Clippers in the standings. We should easily have been a playoff team in normal construct of a season, but we had to win to validate the season, and that's what it felt like to us. So, listen, we want our athletes to enjoy themselves and celebrate, so I don't think there was any problem with it.
I'll be honest with you, and I'm not just saying because I'm talking to you here, Coach. I didn't either, I mean, you have to sing for your supper in that tournament. You know what I mean? Like normally you'd have just automatically gotten your 7th seed and moved on, and but not anymore. And I just saw the photograph of you. We were just while you were talking of you hugging it out with Anthony Edwards. He's just infectious. I mean, walk me through your relationship with him, or your introduction to him, or his role in that environment of your team and your locker room.
Yeah, that's the perfect word for him. He is infectious. He has a genuine personality and a smile and a swagger that is backed up by real confidence. Now, when I first got here, Anthony was just new on the scene, didn't have a training camp, was in the middle of, the COVID season, and he was trying to figure out who he was, who the league was, and everything. What we were able to do is kind of help him, guide him to doing some things like try to trim down his game a little bit, do a little bit more of what you're really good at, work on the things that you're not so good at right now, and then keep building. And he has always been very open to coaching, and learning, and he knows who he is and he knows who he's not. And he knows, that he's lucky to have a guy like Karl-Anthony Towns next to him and a guy like D'Angelo Russell next to him to help him when he needs it, but he also is not afraid of the moment. And he's had this great sense of timing to be able to step up when the game needs him. It could be a steal. It could be a big shot. It could be an emotional play. Any of those types of things, he kind of seeks those out. And that's special. And some of the things he's been able to do as a young player, when we first started seeing him, we were obviously extremely encouraged. But then the next question is, okay, can he repeat these things? Mm-hmm. And now we're seeing that he can. And he still has a lot to learn. He still needs to develop more feel and more how to read the game. And sometimes he's just out there hooping. But slowly he's starting to process these things that he's seen all season and say, oh, yeah, I've seen this before. He'll communicate that to me. And sometimes he sees it late, but he's seen it. And now when he sees it again, the next time he makes the adjustment. So he's really starting to put it all together, which is exciting.
I know, the Timber Pup or Timber, whatever nickname that he might have had when he came in, 36 points in 40 minutes in his first career playoff game is a grown-ass man stuff. That is for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and they were all timely, too.
Yeah, and Karl-Anthony Towns, 29, Beasley with 23. So I guess what is the message that you would have to people who would think, well, you're just still the 7th seed, and there's the Suns, and there's the Warriors, and so on and so forth? What do you say when you hear that, Chris.
That's
Finch.
true. That's true. Every one of these teams, including the Suns and the Warriors, and they all had to go through a process. And we're a young team, and we know we got a lot to figure out still. Second youngest team in the league, we understand that. It's just the benefit of having a young team in the playoffs is that you get to accelerate that learning curve. Like, what does it take to win at the highest levels when it matters most? There's nothing better than to go into the summer and say, this is what we did well. This is what I got to do a lot better if I want to be one of the best players or the best teams in the league.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.